So we've talked about value briefly, and a lot of the use cases around like maybe QA, the stuff to do with regulation, but then also like the coaching side of things. What kind of benefits are people seeing from these tools?
Yeah, I mean it's changed massively. I'd argue it's a hell of a lot simpler now than it ever has been. Like I say, when I first started out in the industry, the traditionally the business case was built on a few different factors, but it was primarily QA automation and reducing the effort that's associated with QA. So either reducing the size of the QA team themselves by about 50-60%,
Right.
or kind of, I guess, increasing team leader ratios so one person could manage more people and again, getting the efficiency that way, or through things like AHT reduction by understanding the component parts of the call and focusing in on where somebody might have a particular issue or coaching need, and then being able to drive that out on a more kind of a more efficient, more regular basis. I've kind of when I talk to clients now, I've almost put, I've not scrapped them, that would be unfair, but I've put them as secondary because of the development of real-time analytics. So real-time now enables you to automatically summarize a call, wrap it, so automatically write your kind of wrap notes,
Yeah.
and then append them to the CRM. You can keep a human in the loop in that process, so they can, if they want to update it or they want to change a certain point or highlight a different issue, they're able to do so. But traditionally, what was taking roughly somewhere between a minute or two in a contact center can now be half that. And that time can be reinvested in your agents talking to customers. So fundamentally, that is providing the business case for it, and then everything, all the other functionality that you get about understanding how to drive sales conversion, about improving your collection rates, on QA automation, you can develop at your leisure, and almost to kind of build the plan around deploying that to consider the other cultural aspects of adopting it in an organisation. So it's fundamentally changed in the last year.
Right.
So.
Okay.
I think that's a really important point. It used to, speech analytics, interaction analytics projects used to be the emperor's new clothes, because what used to happen is you'd spend so much money on the project and then building all of the events and building all the categories, and then you used to have to do it was quite multi-threaded. So you'd have teams that was auto QA, then you'd have demand deflection teams, like how can I, now that I understand this, how can I go away and fix processes? And it would become a swirling vortex of cash drain and time drain, trying to get ever decreasing benefits. I think from working with Luke, turning that around and going, right, what is the quickest thing that you can deliver to wash the face of the project, to make it dead easy? Auto summarization. So if you can deliver auto summarization over the course of the first 2 to 4 weeks and prove it, that generates an ROI in and of itself. Then if you can add auto QA onto the top of it, you're already delivering, like, in the market, like substantial benefits compared to other projects. And then what you have is, I don't want to use the word free hit, but you do then have a free hit. You've got license to operate on all of the demand deflection stuff, on all of the continuous improvement pieces. You can then go into auto coaching and things like that. And from a technology point of view, there's a few things that we're looking at from an innovation point of view, that once you've nailed those bits and everybody's comfortable with the costs, we're starting to move into, first of all, if we can make the projects quicker through those AI automation of events, AI automation of QA, that then means that Luke and the team aren't spending ages trying to deploy. We can, and get benefits, we can bring those forward. But then we've got a couple of things that are really important to us. So I think the next bit of our evolution is screen capture. So in QA, you've still got about maybe 15 to 25% of a contact. You still need to go and check some screens. You need to check that the agent has actually done something that you can't do with voice. So first of all, how do you capture that and close that gap? So rather than automating 80% or 75% of a scorecard, you can get to like 90, 95% of the scorecard, close that gap using some very well understood things, which is just capturing the screen and asking the LLM, did the correct information get inputted? But then what does that then give you? So then what we then have is we then have information. The customer's asked for this, automatic intents. The agent has responded like this, which is the QA scorecard or the conversational adherence. And then these are the actions that have been taken. So then we can then start to move into effectively joining AI with RPA. So we can then, I kind of call it the driverless car. So a customer and an agent can have a conversation. The agent just has to focus on delivering the conversational guide and doesn't have to touch the keyboard. The AI will then navigate to all the different screens it needs to. It will input all of the different information. And first of all, it will make sure that every call is procedurally compliant. It will bring knowledge to an agent rather than the agent having to go and find knowledge and work through things and be distracted. The agent can solely focus on the customer. And then finally, because of all of that, what does that do to speed to competency? In BPO and in a load of either, in fact, direct, operational leaders are scared of cross-training their agents because of the amount of time. I come from an insurance background. You have motor agents. You've then got to learn home in a different policy admin system. You've then got to learn pet and all of the policy and procedures and the way of selling it. But actually, how you derive value is you call up to insurance A, and I'm able to sell you pet, travel, home, motor, across all of those different products because you're an insurance A client, and that's how you maximize the value. But the operational costs are too high at the moment. Well, having that functionality gets rid of all of those operational costs. It improves the speed to competency onboarding, because a new starter can get up to speed much quicker, doesn't have to learn about all the myriad of crappy systems that you've procured over the years or you've not migrated. They can just talk to a customer, but then helps on the cross-training path. And then ultimately the aim is, how do you take that speed to competency down from 12 weeks per skill to 12 minutes, 12 days, 12 days and 12 minutes per skill. Then I'll just say my piece. Then how do you input that into onboarding for your agents and employee screening processes? So rather than a customer talking to an AI, you have an agent talking to an AI. So you can start to then test them through an application process, before they've even started, before they've got into the training. You can then start to see what their skills are. So you can then start to shorten employment screening processes and things like that, and then get them ready to start at the company. And then finally, once you're then doing this at scale, you can then start putting your toe into fully autonomous AI. So the customer speaking directly to the AI almost sitting on a desktop, localized on a desktop, maybe even with your CRM. You may be still paying for your CRM licenses. You may be still paying for your workforce management system and things, but the AI is moving things around like on the screen and directly talking to your customer. That's how I see it progressing over the next kind of 12 months. What I see in the market is everyone's trying to get to the end without doing the hard work at the beginning. But if you do the hard work at the beginning and you face into that pain, you rapidly get a system which is very, very quick to deploy. It derives instant value through auto summarization and auto QA, but then very quickly gets you into a framework and a path which is around fully autonomous AI.